This episode is sponsored by Wrangler Rigs Workwear.
Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. I know you guys have seen part one of the metal wood desk, so today I'm going to take you a little bit more in depth as to why we built it the way we did, go through a little bit of the design work through SketchUp, and then kind of continue on with letting you know how we're going to finish it. Oh, and hey, stay tuned to the end of the episode because Wrangler Rigs Workwear has a special giveaway that they want to do for you.
I'm Kevin Miller from Cincinnati, Ohio, and I'm a boomer. Boom!
Now, when my brother and I were first approached about this desk, the client had some specific needs that we really had to pay close attention to. Now, we came up with a three-dimensional drawing to better illustrate to the client how we were wanting to construct this desk because he had a hard time seeing what my brother's vision was that I had no problems visualizing. So I built it up in SketchUp and presented it to him, and he loved it. Now, the desk construction is 2-inch square metal tubing, and the inset is old gymnasium flooring that my brother managed to salvage. Now, a couple of things that we had to pay attention to. One, he had a specific need that he wanted this desk to not only have the functionality of a one single solid desk with no impeding knee obstructions, but he also wanted to have the ability to take them apart in case his apartment or office where he was going to put this desk was not going to be big enough because he planned on moving. He also had a specific need for the joints where the two desks came together. Now, as you know, metal doesn't move a whole lot. However, wood does. And to combat the problem that was going to arise that if the wood did change in thickness, his mouse, as it moved across the actual joint of the desk, if his mouse drug on a joint, that was going to drive him crazy. So we came up with a leveling system that is going to be underneath two corners of the wings as well as all four corners of the main desk. That way, if the wood does move the slightest bit, he can easily reach underneath and hand screw it down or up to combat the rise in elevation or declining in elevation. So that solved that problem in a huge way, and he loved that particular option. Now, as you look at the main desk, the leg assemblies are actually up underneath the tabletop. Well, we couldn't do that with the wings because of the way they joined, as well as not being able to have anything to hit his knees as he moved around from side to side of the desk. So we had to construct legs that were exactly the same as the ones that were already attached, but can be stored away whenever the desk is all one unit. As you can see, the leg assembly actually is incorporated into the desk top itself. So when you mount it together, it looks like it was always meant to be that way. So like I said, the gym flooring is also going to be the inset portion of the desk, and it's really going to set the metal off after it's painted. But like I said, that will be in a future episode. So now, let me take you back to Leader Creek Customs, and we'll go through a little bit more of a how-to on the welding, the grinding, and the prep work of the desk itself.
Okay, so we've taken the time to kind of mock up our leg assembly. This is going to be the leg that, the part of the leg that sits on the floor. We've got it turned upright so that we can weld the horizontal pieces to it. We've taken the time to put a square on each intersection here, as you can see, to make sure that we stay square and we don't get any kind of movement in the metal. Metal will torque and move when you weld it. You put heat into it with the welding rods. So what typically we'd like to do is to put a tack or just a little spot weld at each individual intersection, a couple of different places to keep the metal from moving when we actually go to weld it and put a real bead on it. First off, we're going to be using a welding rod. There's several different ways to weld. The machine I have, it's a stick welder or arc welder, and it uses welding rods. We are going to be using a 6011 rod. These are general purpose rods and suitable for most any kind of material that you're going to weld. Okay, so when you tack two pieces of metal together, you basically start a small arc and hold it at one spot for just a second. The metal will become molten and a dot, and it'll connect both pieces together. very temporarily. You can undo these, and that's what's nice about a tack. You touch the welding rod down to the metal, it'll strike an arc, and you will see it under the welding helmet. And basically you just want to go back and forth over the joint, following the molten pool of weld or metal that's following your welding rod. As you move down, the molten pool of metal will follow you all the way across the metal. You can't go too slow or you'll blow a hole through the metal, and you can't go too fast or you won't complete the bead. It takes practice and it does take time, but once you master the art of welding, it opens up so many possibilities on what you can build.
Now that the welds are done, we're going to clean them up with a grinder, but instead of using a normal grinding wheel, because that's really abrasive, I've just got this sandpaper discs that we bought in two different grits, 140 and 160. The 40 will take the bulk, and the 60 will clean it up and make it nice and smooth without hardly any scratches whatsoever.
Okay, what we have here is a piece of 1¼ round stock. It's solid steel. Use this for two purposes. One for leveling feet in the desk, and leveling feet for the top of the desk under the wood surface. Okay, so what we do is take this 1¼ stock, we put it in the lathe, we tighten it up, get it nice and centered, and we take a cutter and we face the part off by just running the cutter across the face until it makes it nice and flat. Okay, we're going to take a center drill now. We're going to run it up inside the part and drill it exactly center. After we center drill the part, we're going to step it up into two different sizes. Start off with this one, and I believe this one's a 5/16 drill bit, and then we're going to step it up to a 17/32 drill bit so that we don't remove too much material all at once. So after we drill out the round stock to 17/32 diameter, then we use a 5/8 by 11 tap. The tap is the same thread pitch as a piece of all thread that we've got. The all thread is used to make all the levelers for the desk, top, and feet. Okay, so we're going to take the leveling foot that we machined out on the lathe, and we're going to set it down in the hole, and it fits very snug. So we're just going to take a mallet or a sledgehammer here and tap it down into the hole until it's flush. Just like that. Then I'll weld around the perimeter and sand it smooth.
Now, because the wings are separate from the main desk, we got to figure out a way to attach them so they can be detached later in case he ever wants to break this down and move it. So in order to do that, we're going to take 8-inch plate steel and just cut some 2-inch wide strips. Then we're going to drill holes in them so they'll attach to the desk. Now, the cutoff saw does leave some pretty nasty burrs on the edge of the metal, so just to clean those up, we're just going to take it over to the grinder.
Basically, we're going to slide this up, and it always goes in the same place every time. We're going to index off the same corner. We're going to drill a hole like this, take it out, flip the piece over, drill the next hole, and they're perfectly symmetrical from edge to edge and end to end.
Now, because the client has special needs that the very top of this desktop be completely flush so his mouse won't drag in any crevice whatsoever, we had to put some leveling feet to raise and lower the tabletop in case there's any wood movement. So I'm just drilling some holes in this strapping, and then my brother's going to weld on the leveling feet that we made on the lathe earlier. Now, in order for the wood desk portion to sit nice and flush to the top, we have to install levelers just like we did for the feet. So I fashioned these 45-degree 1.5-inch straps that will fit in the corners of all of the main desk as well as the wings. And then we will weld, after drilling the hole in these, we'll weld the leveling system in. Now, I hope that gave you guys a pretty good insight as to how this desk is going to come together and finish. We do have a little bit more work to do, so this is going to be a multiple part series. And like I said in the beginning of the video, Wrangler Rigs Workwear is doing a special giveaway. As you know, they've been the sponsor of the past 2 episodes, including this one. And they sent my brother and I some really nice working attire. And if you guys do a lot of work outside, this kind of fabric and setup is the beans to have. I don't think I've ever come across a work shirt that has this cross hatch kind of setup that prevents ripping and tearing of the fabric. And they've been nice enough to do a giveaway to a lucky winner that will get an outfit similar to the ones that you've seen my brother and I wear in the past 2 episodes. I have to say that my favorite is probably the Ranger pants. These things are like carpenter pants, but they have a little bit more storage in, like the pockets on the legs. And the really cool thing that I've seen is the leather piece right here on the pocket that's so perfect for like a tape measure or a knife or anything that clips onto your pocket. I can't count the number of pockets that I have tore up right here just from, throwing my tape measure on. And the value that you get with the clothing and the durability and how long they'll probably last in the future is probably second to none. So I urge you guys, if you want more information about Wrangler, you can go to their website by clicking in the link down in the description below. But if you guys want to get your hands on one of these outfits, the quick and easy way to enter the giveaway is just a comment below. Give me a hashtag of Wrangler Rigs and give me some constructive criticism on the project so far. I would love to hear your comments, and it will give you a chance to be in the drawing for the giveaway. Once I pick a random name, I will send that to Wrangler, and they will get in contact with you, or I will get in contact with you, however it goes. I will give them the mailing information for you, and they will send you an outfit courtesy of Wrangler Rigs Workwear. So guys, that pretty much does it. I hope you enjoyed this episode since I gave you a little bit more in-depth coverage of how the desk is going to work. And like I said, if you have any constructive criticism, put it down below. Check the link in the description below for more information about the work attire. And I will see you guys on the next build. So 1, 2, 3, boom!